Hey guys, welcome back. Elite video time. I got a little present in this one, which you guys will see here in a second, but let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, again, you guys notice there's Elvis Fish, Catch Co. Funny looking little sticker. Alright, let's go into it. So now keep in mind, this box retails for $45, and generally about $62 is about what I've been getting out of it. So we'll see here. So first up, the Life Target Hollow Body Sunfish. This goes for $14.49. You guys can see it there. This is the bigger size. It's a pretty big box. Bait is 3.5 inches long and is 5/8 of an ounce. What does it say the color is? Color is copper pumpkin seed. Go ahead and get it out. I have a ton of these, and I'm going to give you guys an honest opinion right now. I have a ton of these. Not because they're phenomenal. They are okay at best. Let's put it that way. They're not bad. You will get bites on them every once in a while. But the hookup ratio is just not all that great. I have a lot of times. So this bait is really cool because it does walk really nicely and it just stays in one spot. So that's awesome. And of course it looks realistic as all get out. It's got great trocar hooks in it. I love that. The only problem is for some reason the hookup ratio on them is horrible. And so you notice that, like, if I squeeze up in the head, if it walks like this and they come at it like this, like, they've got to completely eat this whole thing basically before they're even going to have a chance of getting hooks. Now, obviously, like, you know, you're going to have the same problems with some frogs, but it just seems like for whatever reason the hookup ratio on these is just not good. It's also a lot more air they have to squeeze out of it. So that may be doing it. It's also because there's a thicker body, it may be having less of a gap in between the hook and the body. I don't know, but everybody I've heard talk about it just says they don't like them. The other thing is where the weight is. And you guys can see I literally just pulled this one out of the package. You guys can see the weight's already splitting off. They do fill up with water pretty quick. The last one I had been using, just for, you know, trying them out and making sure, you know, that's not what the fish wanted. I had to super glue that lip because it was just leaking out too much, or it was letting too much in. I should put it that way. That's a terrible way to put it. So these are cool baits and they do have their purpose, but 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not going to tie one on. Up next, this is a bait I'm actually excited for. The Lunker Hunt Prop Frog. These go for $10. You guys can see it there. So now, I didn't originally think these were anything cool. Actually, before I go into the story, let's give you the specs. So, it's in green tea is the color. Any specs on it? Okay, no specs. Okay, so it's in green tea. I didn't originally think anything of these, you know. But Bama Bass, which I'm sure you guys know who that is, put out a video where he was using these things, and they were just coming up and smashing them. And I was like, wow, maybe I actually have to, you know, spend some money and try one out. And so I went ahead, you know, I was being really hesitant about trying one, and then sure enough, Mystery Tackle Box sends me one, so it's good enough excuse for me. So definitely gonna have to try this out. Obviously, sorry about that, guys. My dog started barking. But like I was saying, so it was good that, you know, Mystery Tackle Box gave me one. I can definitely go ahead and give it a try. The only problem with one of these I see is that we have a lot of really thick, nasty grass. It's not like good, you know, sparse or just slightly submerged stuff. So I'll have to figure out where exactly I can throw this, because I have a feeling this back here is going to get a lot of grass. These up here look great. They look like they're completely weedless. You guys can see here, I'm running my finger over that. You know, nothing. No hook point at all. So, those look good. You guys can see there, frog compresses down pretty good. Once again, though, you guys can see there's not a huge gap there. So, I have a feeling most of the fish, if you catch them on this, you're going to end up with this one. Get them. Again, $10 for the Lunker Hunt Prop Frog. Up next is the Yo-Zuri Knuckle Bait Spinnerbait. This goes for $8.99. Now again, this is another one that I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It weighs half an ounce. Okay, it's in half an ounce. That's about all I can read. You guys can see there. The back's all in basically Japanese. You guys can see that. I'll go ahead and take it out for you. It's basically chartreuse with like a little red, it looks like. More staples. Nate, who you guys know, he does have one of these. I don't think he's ever thrown it. But we may just have to go ahead and try to try these out. See if I can't get this off of here. There it goes. Okay. You guys can see there. It's a spinnerbait, just as normal. Kind of a dull hook. It is a little sticky, but not too great. I'd maybe sharpen that up a little bit. And then, of course, there is the ball. You guys can hear. Sounds like it has one rattle in there. It's on a split ring, and then it has that to the actual frame. The actual spinnerbait itself doesn't weigh a whole lot, and the ball doesn't weigh a whole lot. So I'm kind of surprised it's half an ounce. I do like that this head is really flat. You can probably skip this thing if you do it right. Probably just, you know, skirt across that. The way I think this thing works is I don't think it goes in a circle at all. I think it either goes up and down, like so, or side to side, and I'm guessing side to side. So we'll see. Definitely have to play around with that. It does have a bait keeper that looks like it would probably hold pretty well. Doesn't look like it's going to break off. It does not have a hand-tied skirt, so that skirt eventually probably will come undone, or I should say the rubber band will eventually come undone. So you may need to keep that in mind. But I'll definitely go ahead and try this out. Again, this goes for $8.99. Up next is the Janko Fishing Rip Knocker. So we have gotten these before in the past. They are pretty decent. They're rattle traps. They're a little bigger than I would like, but they're not too bad. They come with BMC hooks on it. It says it's 75 millimeters long and 15.5 grams. So, go ahead and undo these hooks here for you. Actually, you know what? No, we'll leave this. Okay, you guys can see there. Kind of like a bluegillish pattern, you know. Pretty loud bait. I don't know how much 15.5 grams is, but I'm gonna guess half an ounce. Let's see here. Where's that jig? Yeah, 3/8 to half an ounce probably. I mean, they're good looking baits. I have hooked up a fish on it, and the one time it was my own fault that I didn't land the fish. I was throwing it on the wrong rod with the wrong line, and that was just all I had at the time, and I lost one. But again, you know, good looking bait. Obviously, eventually it'll get bit. Again, that goes for $8.99 as well. Up next is the Catch Outdoors Zero Gravity Hybrid Underspin. So you guys can see it there. So I'm kind of curious about the zero gravity part, because last time I got something with zero gravity, it was awesome. So let's see here. Does it actually... Okay, so it's plastic. This is plastic and it has no weight, really any weight to it. I will say that is a gaff of a hook, and also definitely going to have to bend it out. You guys can see there it kind of points back in, so I'll definitely have to take some pliers and bend that out a bit. Hook feels kind of cheap. Hook point sharp. Other than that, I don't really see a whole lot with it. It's good detail in the head. You guys can see there's kind of like a little bluegill. The only thing I have like a concern with about this is the head's kind of small. Actually, there's two things I'll explain. The head's kind of small, and by the time you put a Kitech on here or whatever, that's going to take up this whole hook. Your bait's going to end up being like this long for that little of a head. The other thing is that longer... Oops, as I throw it on the ground. The other thing is that long of a bait is going to be a bigger bait, and they've got this little itty-bitty bait keeper on here. It feels kind of solid, but I'm sure eventually you could probably break that off. That's interesting, though, that it's that light, because normally underspins like that you can't throw very shallow. I bet that would work. I bet that would work. Again, that goes for $6.99, really. Okay, so there's colors on the back that aren't marked. I'm assuming, based on the names of the colors, that's hot bluegill. That's my guess. Don't hold me to it. Alright. So this is where my box gets a little funny. So, up next, we have the Riot Baits Fuzzy Beaver. These go for $4.99. And now why I say it gets a little funny is because little creature style bait, good claws, they got the little flange, they've got a bunch of little appendages. They are pretty thin where they connect. I noticed that some of them had already lost a few, but they look good. I bet flipping these things is money. So I got black and blue steel. I don't know how many's in there. Maybe 10 or so, 9, 10, something like that. And then in the other pack, I got green pumpkin. So these are the 4.2 fuzzies. You guys can see again, same bait, just green pumpkin. So that's pretty good. Got the two colors you really only need. So definitely gonna have to give those a shot. I like them a lot. Again, those go for $4.49. Okay, so I can kind of see. I see what happened here. I'll show you guys here in a second. Okay, so the last thing I have in my box is the Zone Lock OShaughnessy offset shank worm hooks. So these are 5/0. You get 5 of them. You guys can see there. So they've got that zone lock technology, but other than that, they just look like a standard 5/0 worm hook. I'm not a huge fan of the zone lock stuff, but I may give them a try if I need to. You guys can see there, it's a good looking hook. Eyelets are not sealed great. Where it comes up and then back around, it's not sealed completely great, so if you're using a light line, your knot may slip through there. Hook sharp. The only thing that worries me about these zone locks, and the reason I don't like them, is because it comes up like this. So normal hook, it would come up and it would come straight out and then flatten off, but because it bends back in a little bit, you lose a little bit of your bite in here, and that could be kind of So the reason I got 2 of the Riot Baits is because I did not get the Excite Baits nasty Shad Nasties, and I think they probably ran out or something, or they just messed up and accidentally threw me in 2 of those instead of 1 of the other ones. But again, I can show you what those guys are like. So the Shad Nasties, these would have went for $4 even. If you guys can see there, Shad Nasties. These are in Quicksilver by Excite Baits. You guys can see there, Fluke Style, Kitech Mix. It's got a belly slot. Probably rig these up 3/0 weedless swim bait hooks with the belly weight. Probably 1/8 ounce. Probably do just fine. So those are what I was supposed to get, but I got 2 rides instead, which is okay with me. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you later. 2 fingers.